All right, all right. Peace. Hey, all right, what's going on? It's the Reaction Overlord. Welcome back to the channel. All right, so we're going to be reacting, doing a full spoiler review on the Flash movie. Now, I just checked this movie out, me and my daughter, and what's crazy is that I'm seeing a lot of reports and a lot of reviews on the movie, and a lot of people saying that it's bad. When myself, I got a different opinion on it. I thought that it was actually quite good. I mean, he had some parts on there that was, kind of cheesy. Certain graphic parts, like for example, when they were using the Speed Force, um, the the digital effects in the Speed Force, it was corny. For it to be 2023, didn't really like it. When they showed Superman punching through the wall and all that, I'm looking at it like, oh, that look real cheesy. Uh, when they start showing the alternate worlds, but like with the Nicolas Cage Superman and Christopher Reeves and Supergirl side by side, you can tell that was, um, computer. It didn't look real. But overall, I thought the story was kind of good. It's crazy because um, I don't think Ezra Miller is going to return as the Flash with the upcoming James Gunn DCU movies. Um, because of course y'all know what's going on with Ezra Miller and everything and his legal situations, which is it seemed like all that stuff is true. So rightfully so. I don't think he should return, but um, give credit to where credit is due. I thought he did well in the movie. He made me actually believe that it was two different characters because you know it was two Barrys, younger Barry and older Barry, and then the Supergirl, and then the Batman. And I'm actually thinking that I'm watching like two different Flashes, fighting because that's how well he played that character. Um, but it was good, and I guess they try to make it like a learning experience for Barry because in his younger self, he got to see that he played too much and he didn't take things too seriously. So, um, I guess that they tried to make it seem like, it was like a rite of passage for himself, which is brings me to another point. When they show like the future alternate younger Barry when he all messed up and bizarre and all the horns and stuff, like was that supposed to be like Zoom or the Black Flash? Because they didn't really say in the movie. What was that supposed to be? I probably gotta watch that movie again because I'm confused. Maybe they did and I missed it. I don't know. But I'm looking. I'm like, oh snap! So that supposed to be Black Flash or Zoom or something. Like I'm thinking more so Black Flash, but I don't know. And they didn't even have my man Grant Gustin in the movie, which I thought they should have. And I seen a lot of reports saying that he was going to make a cameo in the movie. I didn't see him, which Ezra Miller was in the Flash TV series with Grant Gustin, made that little cameo when they did the Crisis on Infinite Earths. But I thought it was going to be the same thing, but it wasn't. Um, there's a lot of stuff that happened in this movie. Michael Keaton, Michael Keaton is boy. Now that's one thing I can say that was to hype the movie up for me. One, the fact that Michael Keaton was going to be in the movie, but when I watched the movie and I seen his character, relive the Batman and it's crazy because with the new digital effects and his suit was supposed to be designed on the 1989 suit, but they switched it up a little bit. It was still um it still looked like the original suit, but his fight choreography, I was like, for me, he stamped himself as the Batman. Now, I believe I mentioned this before. I may be a little biased because Michael Keaton started off as the Batman for me. I remember Adam West and all that stuff, them TV shows. But I'm an '80s baby, and when the original Batman movie came out, Tim Burton with Michael Keaton in 1989, I wanted to go see that film. Like I remember going to go see it, and then when Batman Returns came out with Michelle Pfeiffer and Dan DeVito and my man Christopher Walken, I was like, oh yeah. So I I like Michael Keaton as Batman. So the fact that he returned, I was all for it, and he didn't disappoint at all. Um, Now it was a shame that his character died in the movie, and then every time Barry kept trying to rewind time, he kept dying. Him and Cara Zor-El, but maybe he still might can return in a future movie. Now they said that he was supposed to be in the in the Batgirl movie that was supposed to come out, but they scratched that. But I don't know. Maybe James Gunn can probably use him in something else. So I'm not 100% sure, but I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed on that because that would be real dope. Um, Nicolas Cage, Superman Lives. He made a cameo in the like toward the end when all the timelines was kind of like coming together, and I'm like, all right, that's good because now Nicolas Cage, Superman, and all these other things, basically they're trying to say that all the Superman iterations that came from the beginning, from George Reeves to Christopher Reeves to Nicolas Cage, they didn't show Dean Cain, Lois and Clark, but I'm sure he probably was in there somewhere with the Tyler Hoechlin Superman, maybe even Tom Welling with Smallville. I think all these things is all in the same continuity now because, like I said, Ezra Miller did show up in Crisis of Infinite Earth. So basically, that's canon to that universe. So it can possibly be the same thing. The Flash movie and DCEU was canon with all the other stuff. So I think that would be real good. Now, what I didn't really like was they didn't show who killed Barry's mom. They didn't even hint to it. All you seen was Barry come inside and his dad, crying, telling him to, call the cops and all that stuff. On the Flash TV show, they had the whole scene where the Reverse Flash was fighting the Future Flash, running around Nora and everything, and little Barry seen it, and his dad told him to run and go away and all that stuff. Like that in the show was dope. I like that. Now I know they can't really do the same thing for the movie, but I thought they was gonna at least like show some type of hint of Eobard Thawne killing his mom because and the in the comics Eobard Thawne did kill his mother. So maybe James Gunn might do it. I'm hoping. I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed on that because I don't know that would be real. That would be a real disservice if they never touch on that. Now I know this is supposed to be like a flashpoint. The timelines change and all that stuff. Hence George Clooney coming in at the end. Um, so you think that Barry messed up the timelines and maybe he ended up in a new timeline. But it was kind of confusing because George Clooney, technically, his Bruce Wayne was supposed to be Michael Keaton, just like um, Brandon Routh, Superman, and Superman Returns, and when he made his cameo in the Crisis on Infinite Earth series, technically he was supposed to be the Christopher Reeve Superman, just different, different actors, but it's supposed to be the same character. So that's a little confusing too, as well. But uh, maybe they just did all that stuff just as a homage to all the OG fans, including like someone like myself and everything. So I actually liked all that, but from apparently the critics and a lot of other people don't, which I clearly don't understand how they don't, because that was a pretty good movie. It was better than Suicide Squad 1 and 2 for me. Um, I didn't like Peacemaker. I didn't like Justice League. I liked Zack Snyder Justice League, but Justice League was whack. Uh, wasn't really a big fan of Batman v Superman, but I gave it a fair shake. Man of Steel for me is a masterpiece. I don't think it gets no better than Man of Steel. I like both Wonder Woman movies, although 1984 could have been a little better. But I like 84 because the simple fact that they showed that Wonder Woman can fly. Speaking of, she flew in this movie in the Flash, which is supposed to be present day, and she flew in 1984, but she didn't fly when the Justice League forced Steppenwolf, or when they resurrected Superman. And for him, when he flew up and banged her in the head, she should have flew up and banged him back in the head. I, that's one thing I don't like about the DCEU, like the inconsistency of their powers. Like she can make things disappear in 84, but in present day she can't do that. Like she could have made the mother boxes disappear, invisible, and Steppenwolf would have had trouble finding it. Look, I don't know, but um, all in all, I liked it. I thought it was a pretty good movie. But it's sad to think that now that this is gone, we only got two more movies technically still in the Snyderverse, with Blue Beetle coming out later on this summer, and then you got Aquaman coming out later on this year, and then that will be it for the Snyderverse, for real, and then on forward with James Gunn, DCU moving forward in 2024 and beyond. Um, so Snyderverse started in 2013 and ended in 2023. So he had a 10-year run, 10-year tenure on this experiment, because it was an experiment, and I would say it was a failure. Although I like some stuff, but in hindsight, it was a failure because they're scrapping it and they're starting fresh. So and basically, I'm ready for it. I was just mentioning someone the other day. I'm mad that Henry Cavill isn't Superman anymore, and we may not see Ben Affleck as Batman and Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, and Ezra Miller as Flash. But we're gonna see Jason Momoa possibly as Lobo in James Gunn universe, and who knows, maybe Superman, Henry Cavill. I call him Superman, but maybe Henry Cavill can return as someone else in James Gunn DCU. I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed on that, but that's just my thoughts. But I thought it was a pretty good movie. Y'all should give it a try if you haven't seen the movie already. Don't just take everyone's word for it. Don't even just take my word for it. Go check it out for yourself and see if you like it or not. And let me know. But that's all I got. Let me know what y'all think. Drop your comments down below. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, hit the bell. I'll see y'all the next one. Peace.